Here, in these forbidden waters, lies a deep, dark secret, literally. Inside the depths of these blue waves are secrets of the past: treachery, betrayal, displacement, tragedy. Also inside is seemingly the air of vengeance. Depending on who you ask, inside these waters are the souls of the betrayed, seeking and claiming revenge on the descendants of their former oppressors. Depending on who you ask, the spirit realm opens up and claims its perceived enemies in the flesh. Here, in these waters, you've been warned to stay out. But will you listen? Lake Lanier, one of Georgia's most popular destinations. To many, it's a place for fishing, boating, and escape, but beneath its calm waters lies a forgotten history, buried towns, displaced families, and ghostly memories. It's a history that haunts the lake to this day. In the 1950s, the United States Army Corps of Engineers embarked on an ambitious project. Their goal was to build a reservoir to manage the Chattahoochee River, supply water to the city of Atlanta, and generate hydroelectric power. But this project required drastic measures: the forced displacement of entire communities, including the erasure of a thriving black town named Oscarville. Today, Lake Lanier spans 38,000 acres, covering what was once home to hundreds of Black American families. In the early 1900s, the community of Oscarville was a vibrant, predominantly Black town where families worked the land, raised livestock, and built their lives. It was a place of resilience, even in the face of racism and segregation. The land was precious to the people of Oscarville. These farms and homesteads were symbols of hard-won freedom and self-sufficiency. But in 1912, tragedy struck when racial violence forced hundreds of Black families to flee their homes in Oscarville, marking a dark chapter in Forsyth County's history. Many of these families lost everything, never to return. Though many residents had already been driven out, Oscarville still carried the legacy of the Black families who had once lived there. Yet when the plans to create Lake Lanier were set in motion, Oscarville's fate was sealed. Entire farms were claimed by eminent domain, homes were torn down or submerged, and residents, both Black and white, were forced to leave behind generations of history. But for those who had already lost so much, the displacement cut even deeper. When the lake was created, entire cemeteries were left underwater, and though officials claimed to have relocated graves, many believe that not all were properly moved. Hundreds of grave markers and even human remains were left undisturbed, now resting at the bottom of Lake Lanier. Some say the lake's deadly reputation stems from these disturbed graves, that the spirits of those buried have been left restless. The lake's underwater terrain is treacherous, littered with the remains of the homes, churches, and farms that once made up these communities. Divers report feeling a strange presence in the water, a chilling reminder of the lives and legacies that were submerged. And while some say these are simply ghost stories, others believe the lake itself has become a place where the pain of the past lingers, refusing to be forgotten. One of the lake's most enduring legends centers on the mysterious disappearance of two young women, Delia Parker Young and Susie Roberts, in 1958. The women were driving home late at night when their car veered off the Dawsonville Highway Bridge and sank to the lake's depths. For a year, there was no trace of them until a fisherman discovered Delia's body floating in the lake. Her hands were missing, and her body was badly decomposed, a discovery that shocked the local community. Soon after Delia's discovery, locals began reporting sightings of a ghostly woman in a blue dress near the bridge. Some believe it's the spirit of Delia, trapped in the waters of Lake Lanier, a wandering soul searching for closure. Her story, combined with the unsettling history of Oscarville, has made the lake a focal point for tales of hauntings and cursed waters. And this was only the beginning. More and more mysterious deaths and accidents would happen, all in the name of Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier's haunting reputation is more than folklore. Since its creation, the lake has claimed more than 700 lives, with many drowning under mysterious circumstances. Strong swimmers have been pulled under by an unseen force, and boaters report sudden engine failures, even on calm days. Lake Lanier even affected the rich and famous. In 2012, tragedy struck when 11-year-old Kyle Glover, the stepson of musician Usher, was struck by a jet ski while tubing on Lake Lanier. Kyle suffered severe brain injuries and passed away 2 weeks later. This heart-wrenching accident is just one of many that have deepened the lake's infamous reputation. Some say that the waters themselves are cursed, that the spirits of those who lost their homes and lives linger below, waiting for justice or peace. Like I've stated before, Lake Lanier claimed over 700 lives and still continues to do so to this day. Here are just a few of the more recent cases of mysterious deaths that occurred there. Today, Lake Lanier remains one of the most visited lakes in the United States, drawing millions to its shores each year. But the lake's dark history, marked by displacement, tragedy, and ghostly legends, has cast a shadow over its beauty. For the Black families forced from Oscarville, the memory of their lost homes is embedded in the lake's history. And for the families who have lost loved ones to its treacherous waters, Lake Lanier is a constant reminder of lives cut short. Is Lake Lanier truly cursed? Or is it the weight of its forgotten history, the lives uprooted, and the graves left behind that haunt these waters? The answer may never be clear. But one thing is certain. Lake Lanier is a place where the past refuses to stay buried, where the spirits of those who suffered still linger. So, lurkers, what do you think? Do you think the legend of Lake Lanier is true? Do you think this lake that was built on racism and displacement is haunted? That the ancestors have come to seek vengeance for its being wronged? Are you willing to go visit Lake Lanier? Will you go inside? Let me know down below.